What's up, world? It's your girl Sensei, the hostess with the mostest, back with your favorite sports show, The Sports Senseis, and we have another action-packed Tuesday for you guys. But without further ado, before I get into all the topics that we are talking about, Asia Wilson, who we just brought up last week on last week's show, just broke the rebounding record, 447 plus rebounds in a single season, on top of breaking the single season scoring record with 1,000 points. My goat, she's going so crazy this year. Like she's reaching a stratosphere that no other WNBA player has ever reached. So shout out to her. But we got an action-packed show for you guys. Of course, we got NFL. We're going to talk about Ruth True's Cowboys. She going to hate it, but I'm going to love it. We're going to talk about Jay Nicole's Chiefs, as well as the Baltimore Ravens, and much, much more. So make sure y'all tune in for another episode of the Sports Senseis with your girl Sensei, Ruth the Truth, and Jay Nicole. But before we get into that, check out our cool video before our podcast.
Man, man.
So it is your girl Sensei, per usual, back again with another episode of the Sports Senseis with my girl with the True Jay Nicole will be on her way. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. We got so much stuff to talk about, from the NFL to the WNBA. I'm excited to be back. But before we get into our topics, Ruth the Truth, other than never mind, I ain't gonna go there yet. It's early. How you doing?
Girl, I'm doing great. I just got off work and my man made me some nachos, so I'm feeling nice and refreshed and ready to go. I know he's so good at cooking. I love that. I'm doing super well. I had tryouts yesterday for the women's USF basketball club. They went really well. I was running with these young goats, so it was awesome to be out there and still showing off my skills. And I still got it, for sure, still got it. The only thing, though, I will say is I forgot how different it is shooting a men's basketball compared to shooting a women's basketball. So for the last decade plus, I've been playing with solely a man's basketball, not like an NBA ball because those are a little bit heavier, but like a regular Spalding men's basketball. Well, yesterday I realized that they use women basketballs. So I only made 7 out of 25 shots when we were doing like our little shooting drill. And I was embarrassed because I'm a shooting guard. Like, your girl can shoot. So the fact that I made 7 out of 25, I was a little embarrassed. And I realized, like, I forgot how much of a difference there is between a women's and a men's ball. So other than that, though, I did great on 5-on-5s, played great defense. I got a few blocks, which was cool. And yeah, it was super awesome to be out there in the court. I've made it to the second round of tryouts, which are happening tomorrow on campus. So I'm really excited about that. I really want to be a part of this club traveling team at USF and going to be doing that and juggling a million other things that I do. But happy to be here back on the pod. Lots to talk about after week 2 of the NFL. As everybody may notice, if you were watching the live stream right now, I am decked out in Tampa Bay Buccaneers fit today with the hat and the shirt to match. I'm wearing that awesome Super Bowl shirt that Antoine Winfield Jr. given the peace sign to Tyreek Hill. If everybody remembers all that drama that ensued during the Super Bowl when it was here in 2021. But yeah, I'm doing great. Happy to be back. Lots to talk about. I know I'm going to have some disheartening conversation and shortly about the Dallas Cowboys and the implosion that they had at AT&T Stadium, losing to the Saints 44-19. Yeah, you heard me correctly, 44-19. But hey, I am here as a sports analyst, so I'm going to be talking about games, even if I don't want to talk about it. But you know what, Sensei? You know what made me feel like a tad bit better? A tad bit better.
Talk about it.
You want to hear about it? This may surprise you, maybe not. The Philadelphia Eagles dropped the ball.
Oh,
yeah, I went there. Oh,
yep. That's rude.
Philadelphia Eagles dropped the ball last night. Kirk Cousins, health right now. Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah. So that made me feel a tad bit better. I mean, they lost by 1, but everybody, like, the probability of the Eagles winning last night was like sky high late in the fourth, and then just 10, 15 seconds left in the game, and it just completely
Imploded.
That stadium. So that made
Okay.
because I know she want to talk about her Chiefs and Bengals because they done start the season 2-0, but did they deserve it? I don't know. Joe Burrow might have something to say about that. But Sensei, how you doing? It's good to see you.
I'm good. Listen, honestly, I can't complain. I definitely wish the Eagles won last night. They were winning when I was on my way home. Then I got home and they lost. I don't understand how that happened so fast. But it did, and
it happened so quick, girl. I'm watching the game, right? But I was watching the game in bed, so it's late. I work a lot, blah blah blah. So I like doze off, right? I felt like I just dozed off for a second, and they were up, and I'm like, oh, they're about to win. Like this game's a wrap. I doze off. I wake back up, and the Falcons are up, and they're winning, and I'm like, well, hold up, and like I had to wipe my eyes. I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm looking at this correctly. Am I in some type of dream state right now? Oh no, this is reality. The Eagles lost the game with that short of a time. So anyways, continue.
Yes, wild. But we will get to all of our NFL coverage in just a moment. But without further ado, we got to get to something that is at the top of the show that we have to talk about. We got to discuss A'ja Wilson, WNBA MVP, should be unanimous MVP. If she's not, I'm willing to fight whoever votes against her. But she's been having an outstanding season, and like I started with the show with, she just broke the single season rebounding record, actually passing the rookie Angel Reese because she was in the league before she got injured, obviously, because she's a rebounding machine herself. But she has 447 plus rebounds on the season, as well as every other accomplishment you could possibly think of. She just scored 1,000 points. The first player to ever do that in a WNBA season, also averaging 27. I believe it's 0.4. I could be wrong. But she's averaging 27 points. First player ever to do that as well. She's the Las Vegas Aces leader in steals, blocks. In anything that has the Las Vegas Aces and it has a record by it, A'ja Wilson's name is first. So, she just is having an outstanding season. She's not playing on the same playing field as everybody else. So, definitely shout out to her. One of my favorite players for sure. Definitely enjoy watching her. And I've been watching her since college when she was at South Carolina, and just her development throughout the league over the past several years. I believe she's in year 7 or 8, one of the two. She's only 28, so she's just scratching the surface of her prime, which is scary for the rest of the league. Because boy, let me tell you, she has a lot to deal with already. But just crazy accomplishments this year. And like I said, she better get. I know where that MVP trophy better be when it's time, because if it ain't in Vegas, it's gonna be a problem. But yeah, just breaking records left and right. Root the Truth, any thoughts on A'ja Wilson and her season this year?
Absolutely outstanding. This girl is just asinine. Like the way that she just leads a team, walks the walk after talking the talk. Like she is the embodiment of what you would want as a leader of your team. And we're talking about back-to-back champs. Now, I don't know if how everybody feels about Breonna Stewart winning the MVP of the league last season, when they felt like A'ja was definitely in the lead for that. But I think she used that as like a chip on her shoulder going into this season. Like, oh, I'm really gonna prove everybody wrong, that I should be the league's MVP, and there should not be an argument in that sense. So I love to see what A'ja is doing, and I'm excited for playoffs that are going to be kicking off soon with WNBA. But Sensei, I gotta ask you this: with all the accolades of A'ja right now,
right,
and how she's been dominating the game for quite some time, would you consider A'ja? It's a narrative that's out there right now, so I definitely got to spin it to you. Would you say that Miss Wilson right now is probably going to be, or has already solidified being the best to ever play?
I wouldn't say she's the best to ever play right now, and I'm sure she would probably just in all time. As far as best player in the league, absolutely, but all time, I think she would agree as well. She's got a couple more things that she needs to accomplish to kind of solidify that, but she's definitely in that conversation. Like she definitely, hey, Jay Nicole, she's definitely in that conversation. She definitely has a seat at that table for sure. But I think when it's all said and done, she definitely could go down as one of the greatest. Because I mean, like I said, she does everything. Like she can finish with both hands, she can dribble, she can handle the ball, she doesn't turn the ball over. She's a power forward, can play center if need be, but she also has guard like tendencies as well. She shoots the ball efficiently, especially from the mid range like that. She broke the 1,000-point record on a mid range shot because that's pretty much her patent shot. But she's also added the 3-point shot to her game this season as well, and she's confident in shooting it. And then she also plays both sides. Like as great as she is on offense, she's just as great on defense, and she just doesn't stop. Like she has a motor that's unbelievable. So, I mean, I don't think we've seen a player that just with all of that makeup in the WNBA ever. I could think of maybe a Candace Parker, maybe a Maya Moore, a Tamika Catchings as well. You could throw her in there. But when it's all said and done, I think that it's definitely a conversation to be had that A'ja will be one of the greatest that we've ever seen touch a basketball, for sure, without a doubt.
Without
Jay,
a
what
doubt.
Jay, what do you think?
Jay, welcome to the show. How you
Welcome
doing,
to
darling?
the show, by
Good
the
to
way.
see ya.
I hope you
Good to
enjoyed
see
your
ya.
nap, beauty queen.
She had to get her
Oh my
little beauty
gosh,
nap
I'm
in
so
real quick.
Little beauty
I was like,
rest.
I have time, and then yeah, okay, I'm gonna be better. Yeah, but right there with you, Sensei. Totally. Like I watch A'ja, and I'm like, I just can't believe the skill, the talent, the finesse, I mean, everything she does, right? Like the way she handles the ball, she doesn't turn it over. Her mid range, even when she steps back and shoots a three, like just everything about it. It's like you want to win, get A'ja the ball, everybody back out the way and let her cook, right? Let her do what she does, and she does it oh so well, so elegant. I believe was it last year she finished, was it fourth?
She had one fourth place vote. Yeah, that's what.
Fourth?
Yeah, that's
I was
what
like, oh, y'all playing. Yeah, that's what motivated her. Oh, y'all playing with me? Okay, bet. Let me show you next year. Let me just dominate the whole WNBA and take over so y'all know what's up. Because yeah, that definitely lit a fire under her under her ass. She was like, look, let's go. And I love it, and I'm here for it. Love to see A'ja do it. I mean, you're coming from South Carolina Gamecocks, Coach Dawn Staley, and what she meant to the game. You know what I mean? It's just a beautiful thing to see. I'm so proud of her. Like watching the game. Like, okay, cool. We got like 2 minutes. All right, get her the ball. Let her hit 1,000. Right? I mean,
Let her
it was
cook.
such a
Let her cook.
yeah, such a monumental moment. I am so happy for A'ja Wilson, and I'm looking for her to take the Las Vegas Aces on a 3-peat. So congratulations to her. All the flowers. You are amazing. You are wonderful. Definitely one of the best to ever do it. I put it out on my story. I'm like, the go, the goes for sure. So,
and only 28 years old. So it's like she's still so young. Like we could see her play for the next decade. So it's like, yeah, she's already in the conversation as one of the greatest ever, but the best is still yet to come when it comes to A'ja. I really believe that in her. So who would you ladies say? I'll start with you, Sensei. Who would you say poses the biggest threat to the Aces right now heading into the playoffs? Now, they're coming off the back-to-back championships. Obviously, they want to hit that 3-peat and be, in the books for even more historical things. But who poses the biggest threat, you think, to their championship path that they're on right now?
I know a lot of people would probably say the Liberty, but I'm not gonna say them just because I feel like the Aces still have this cycle, even though the Liberty have fared well against the Aces this season for a few different reasons. But I still think all in all, the Aces still have kind of like this psychological edge over the Liberty a little bit, especially A'ja. Like there's a different kind of something that comes out in her when they play against them. But I think who poses the biggest threat is probably the Minnesota Lynx, because they've been playing some great basketball and they've been slept on. Not a lot of people are talking about them, and they're not getting the acclaim that they should get. But they beat Las Vegas twice as well, but they've also beat them by double digits every time that they've played. And Fee and A'ja battle. Like Nafisi Collier and A'ja, when they play against each other, they battle. And they've got outside shooting that they just beat the Liberty the other day, blew them out at home. Like, again, because that shooting, that rebounding, just them as a collective, like they're a really, really good team. So If Vegas has to match up with them, they're going to be a tough out. So that would be my pick to if anybody's going to challenge that three-peat, it's going to be the Lynx for me.
What would you say, Jay? What says you?
Yeah, I mean, I was right there with Sissy. I'm like, clearly New York Liberty. That's the obvious choice, right? It's like last year, the rematch. They've beaten them this season or whatever. The Aces aren't looking like the Aces of old, right? They're new. They're not winning as much games and stuff like that. But do not sleep on the Lynx, man. Don't do it. Like, they out here behind the scenes getting buckets, getting wins, just making it look effortless. I'm like, and Collier, man, they were like talking like since they came back from the Olympic break, they're like, man, she balling out. She would try to give Asia a little run for that MVP, but I mean, I'm right there with it for it. I mean, the level of basketball that we're seeing being played is just absolutely bananas. Like, the Lynx are 9-1 in the last 10 games, which is essentially, since we've been back from the Olympic break, right? So they like had the best record. And they ain't slowing down no time soon. I mean, your coach is the Olympics coach, right? Like I mean, they like, look, we just she's like, we know how to win, okay? Like, I just, I'm if I'm the Aces, I'm looking at the Lynx like, okay, because I'm like, Liberty, we seen you last year, we did that, we won on your home court, you know what I mean? We won the championship, so I'm like, we still feel like when it comes down to it, we can take you, but the Lynx is like, y'all ain't even see us coming. Y'all been sleeping on us, but bet we gonna see you. We gonna see you coming these playoffs, and you gonna really be like, oh shoot, take notice for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. But I want to, before we move on from the Asia Wilson conversation, I want to point this out really quick. I'm not sure if you guys follow them, the Las Vegas Aces, on the social media, but they posted a video of Asia afterwards in the locker room, and they were dumping water on her. They're super proud of her, happy for it, celebrating her, of course. But I want to talk about her speech, because she gave a speech after all the hoopla and everybody screaming and stuff like that, and she got to speak. And I want to talk about just how profound some of the things that she said, and just like, we could talk about Asia Wilson, the player, all day long, because she's given us such a launch pad to just, I mean, from whatever accomplishment you could imagine. Like, she's either scratched the surface or she's done it already. So we could talk about that all day. But there was something that she said in that speech that stuck out to me. And like, at first she started by thanking her new teammate Queen, who just joined the team like some odd like a week or so ago maybe. And she thanked her first, but then she started to talk about her teammates that she's grown with over the years, and she got really emotional. And there was a part in that stuck out to me, and she was pretty much saying like how some days she hates being Asia Wilson, like how hard it is to be Asia Wilson, and like she literally was in tears, like breaking down. And what a leader, man. Like I said, we could talk about her as a player all day long, but that is leadership. Like, if there's a star player you want to follow, or a person that you want to follow, that's it. Like, the vulnerability that she shows herself and for her teammates, and how much she loves and cares about them. Like, you can tell that ain't made up. That's genuine. And like, the part of her saying she hates being her sometimes, like, you could tell that weighed heavy on her heart, like heavy. Like, and I mean, we all talk about every day, like how heavy is the head that wears the crown. Like, imagine how heavy that crown is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be an MVP every single night. You have to be an MVP off the floor every time people see you. Like, you can't make a mistake, no slip ups, no nothing. So I just want to point that out, as something to highlight. Like, if you or a dad or a mom who has a young girl who's interested in sports or basketball in specific, like, follow Asia Wilson. Like, that is somebody that you could look up to and be like, I want to mimic that. I want to be like that. And I was just telling Ruth before we started, she has a book called Dear Black Girls, which I have, and it's a very good read. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, you should. And it's pretty much like a diary entry, like how that's kind of how it was written, pretty much, of like her, going through life and dealing with the fact that she's dyslexic and like like there's just so many different struggles that she went through as a woman, especially as a Black woman, that are in this book. So definitely check that out. But I just wanted to highlight that if you haven't had a chance to see her speech, please go to the Las Vegas Asia's Instagram page or Twitter page and watch that video, because it was really moving. I don't know if you ladies got a chance to see it, but that's something that like still like I cried watching that. Like, and not a lot of stuff moves me, but that's something that really like gave me a different feeling. Like, I loved her before, but I love her even more now.
You can find the book on Amazon. I just try to put the link on there for her book, Dear Black Girls, How to Be True to You. The hardcover copy is available on Amazon for only $14.89. So please go out there if you're looking for a good read. If you're like you like those kind of nonfiction books that like talk about like real life stuff that you could actually relate to, I think that would be a good book. Sensei talked a lot about that, and I'm interested in catching on to that good read as well. But honestly, I think a part of her emotional speech, I haven't seen it yet, but I can only imagine when she spoke about how hard it is to be who she is the way that the media has continued to portray her to be kind of like a villain. And I think that weighs a lot on people. We got to understand that the people that we watch on TV, they're actually real people, like attainable people that have feelings, that go through the same kind of things that regular people go through. You know, I mean, obviously financials could look a little different, you know, just a little bit different, but like they're normal people that go through things. And I think Asia has gone through a lot when it comes to how the media has tried to portray her in not the greatest light all the time. And they kind of like, you know, when they see a woman who is supposed to be, I guess, in a feminine kind of umbrella, and they're just kind of like stay in your lane, but they're so dominating and they have such a strong personality, and it causes people to be kind of threatened by that. Then they like people try to switch the narrative that, oh, they're not, you know, they're wannabe gangsters, or they're this and they're that, and they're trying to put them in a box. And I really think that it's unfair, but it's the reality. It's the culture that we live in today. So I kind of I see what kind of angle that she's probably going at. Well, there's probably multiple ways that she says that, like, it's hard to be her. But I think it's unfair the way that the media has tried to attack her, you know, with the Caitlin Clark thing. It's just been like little things, like just trying to pick at her. And it's like, no, like we need to concentrate on her greatness and what she's accomplished. And I didn't even know that she came out with a book. So like, I think that she needs to be pushed in a more positive light, because she's doing a lot of positive things in this world. And for girls in sports, I got to interview one of the recipients for the scholarship program through the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have like a flag football thing where they give out a scholarship to a high school girl who is trying to go for a career that has some type of thing involved with sports. And after speaking to this girl, she told me, she was like, if sports wasn't in my life, I don't know where I'd be or who I would be. Starting this athletic journey at such a young age has really helped mold me and develop me, and like helped in my confidence level, like helped me be a leader, helped me be more. And I think that's a really beautiful thing, because sports is a really big deal. And I think that I'm not saying that all women and everybody needs to be involved in sports, but I think at one point in your life, I think it's cool to try, you know, just to try something out, try something new. It builds a community. It like puts you in places that you probably wouldn't be otherwise. So yeah, I just hats off to Asia Wilson, all that she's accomplished, all the more that she will accomplish. And it's beautiful to see.
Yeah. What about you, Jay? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, just I saw a clip of that. And if you watch Asia in all the press conferences, you know, when they lose, and again, they've been not the aces of old, the aces of new, and haven't been, you know what I mean? She steps up as the leader. She says, hey, you know what? I'm the one. I need to take charge. I need to go be aggressive, like let my team follow my lead. And I just see her as a true leader and a visionary. And the team, you can feel their closeness, right? Like you're like, man, they're really a team, you know what I mean? And I think last year when Kelsey Plum was like, oh, I don't think Liberty's like a team yet, but she meant just like we have just are embedded to each other, like the feel, the action, we move as one, we feel each other's pain, we like, you know what I mean? Like it's a true like sisterhood essentially, right? And Becky at the head with the being the coach, but just seeing Asia and how she moves and everything she does and her words and stuff like that, and knowing like, yeah, she's a real person too. Like, yeah, I don't want to be Asia Wilson all the time. It's not easy. It's a lot of things I go through personally and I struggle with, but you know what, seeing my team, seeing their faces, coming into the locker room and seeing a smile on their face gives me a smile on my face, hypes me up, gives me ready to go to the next game. So it's just such a beautiful thing to see. She's such a great leader, a visionary. I mean, there's not enough words, right, to say about Asia Wilson and what she's doing for the game of basketball and what she's doing for young women. I'm gonna definitely cop that book, because we need, you know, as another Black woman, we need to hear our stories and push each other and say we can do it. And there's some little girl who's like, man, look at Asia Wilson, look what she could do. I could be her. I could be better than her. You know, let's shoot for the stars. It's not just a dream. You know what I mean? This is reality. And always to know, like, God wants us to have abundance. He doesn't, you know what I mean? A lot of times as women, we might feel like, ooh, that's too much or that's too high, right? We put that on ourselves when he's like, no, you can have that, my daughter. He says it is for us. He wants our cup floweth running over, right? And
you better preach, Jay McCall, on this Sports Sensei Tuesday.
Like he does. And so we got to just see that in ourselves and believe it. And Asia, she's amazing. I just, you know what I mean? There's not enough words to say. I see her. And so Asia Wilson, we see you.
I think that,
Go ahead,
we see you. But like, I think that seeing women like Asia Wilson being such a, gosh, she's just so, like, she's so dominating all aspects, her personality and everything. I feel like she needs to be just pushed by the public more to be, you know, I'm not thinking of the word idol, but like somebody who like looks up to somebody. Like, I really think that she needs to be the type of person that the young girls are looking up to. Like, not to throw dirt on anybody's name, but everybody trying to be a Cardi B and an Ice Spice and like those type of people. And I just feel like we need to have more light on women like Asia and how she's leading a team and how she's like, what the things that she's accomplishing. I think those needs to be more like standards for women. Like, hey, like, yeah, you could twerk and do all that, but you could also go in this direction and make something of yourself and break history and like really break ground and not be so controversial. So yeah, that's all I got to say on that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think it's slowly but surely happening, especially with the exposure of the WNBA this year. It's just been everywhere and a lot of people are talking about it a lot more and it's getting highlighted a lot more. I know Nike, she has a shoe and a clothing line coming out in May. So, I mean, it's like I said, it's on its way, but, you know, shout out to her, man. Just an incredible person, incredible young Black woman who is forging a way for young Black girls behind her. So we'll go ahead and wrap that up and get on to one of my favorite topics. Ruth, you're not gonna like this, but I'm gonna love it. You know, there's things in life that you can guarantee. And one of the, a few of those things, I believe they say death, taxes, and a Cowboys collapse. You know, whenever I think I said this last season, the Cowboys are like that boy that you like so bad, and he got so much potential, but right when you think he gonna get it right, he lets you down every single time. It never fails. Listen, if I was a betting woman, and I'm not because I am for the Lord, but if I was a betting woman, I would bet on the Cowboys letting Ruth the truth down. Listen, one thing about Ruth, she gonna tell you the truth. But when it comes to them Cowboys, she gonna tell you a lie. Last week she said, "Oh, we're Super Bowl bound. We got potential, and our team."
That's not what I said. I said NFC Championship game or bust. That's the standard I have for them.
Listen, at this point, that's y'all Super Bowl because y'all ain't finna get to one.
Oh my gosh!
The Cowboys had their opening season debut in Jerry World per usual, and they had the footage of the fans bum rushing the stadium, but oh baby, it went bad quick. Oh, it was like a roller coaster ride. It started up and then it went all the way down. I don't know how we got to that point, but all I know was the Saints came on marching in, and what they did in Jerry World is 44-19. The first 6 drives were all scores. Listen, Ruth the Truth, I know this is an emotional moment for you, sis, and I'm so sorry that I had to do it to you.
Oh, dang, Sensei. You didn't hold back at all, bro. At all. She just like Just kick me while I'm down, don't you? Oh my Lord.
I'm sorry.
Bro,
I love you.
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Like, I really don't want to sit here and just trash on my team, but they make it so easy to do so because, like, how do you play like that? Like, I understand it's week 2. Everybody's trying to, but we don't got a brand new quarterback. We don't got brand new guys in the locker room. We don't got new this, new that. No, like, we're coming back, trying to bounce back from a disappointing loss in the playoffs to the Green Bay Packers, and then we lose like that in week 2 at AT&T after coming off such a great road win from the Cleveland Browns, and then you gonna show up like that? Like, I wanted to do my research, been like, yo, whose birthday was it the night before? Did they go out? Like, where was everybody hungover? Like, I don't understand. Like, they played as if like everybody had the flu. Like,
Ruth said y'all partying too much.
They partying too much in Dallas because they did not show up in any aspect of that game. Any aspect of that game. Dak Prescott didn't play well. Yes, he threw for almost 300 yards, but he also threw 2 interceptions. The first one wasn't really his fault, but I mean, you're the leader, my guy. Like, pull everybody together. Zeke didn't have a great game. Like, their running game, I felt like our offensive line just couldn't stop nothing. Like, Dak was rushing the whole entire game. Didn't know where to go. CeeDee Lamb, pretty quiet. Not much going on. Like, there was like little glimpses of like nice action, but then a fumble would happen, or like a penalty, like them losing an opportunity on a first down. Like, it was just a complete disarray, and from beginning to end, it just continued to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And Dallas is known for most elite in the NFL, and they couldn't stop a nosebleed on Sunday on a 1:00 game. And it just, Derek Carr had all the time in the world in that pocket. He threw a lovely deep pass for like a 73-yard completion for a touchdown. Trayvon Diggs, where you at? Where you at, my guy? Like, it just getting completely beat on every aspect of the game. Now, I understand the new coach is coming from a Kyle Shanahan. The new coach for the Saints is coming from a Kyle Shanahan tree, and they've been elite, and I don't care. There was just no words to describe how disappointing that game was, and I'm just saying, to go face the Ravens right after that.
It's not good. It's not good. Hold on, Ruth. I think are you fumbling a little bit? Hold on, Jay. Can you hear? Is she muffled for you too?
Yeah, it's like it's broke up. I think your pause, Ruth. I don't know. Can you hear it?
Okay, let me try to fix my mic. You guys go ahead and take over.
Okay. Jay, before you hop in real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I just feel like if Derek Carr, right, if he had a crock pot, right, and he put like a roast in there, that's how much time he had in the pocket to throw. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. What did I say last week, Cowboy? Don't let another team come into your house and sit on your couch. Go get your snacks. Say what's up to your wife. You want some snacks? You want some snacks to say? I mean, wow. Derek Carr only actually threw the ball 16 times, and he only completed 11, right? That's it. That's all. And the man was on fire. You let Alvin Kamara score 4 touchdowns? Do you know in the last 2 years, he only had 10 touchdowns combined? And you let him score 4 touchdowns in one game? Oh my gosh, what a travesty. The Cowboys were 16-0 at home before their loss last year to the Green Bay Packers. So let's now make that 0-2. Did you forget it was a home game? Did you forget it was the opening season of the home game? Did you forget Derek Carr is Derek Carr? But I guess he looking like a whole brand new quarterback with a brand new team with a brand new offensive coordinator, and they just doing all the things. Is this really a thing? Everybody got paid. CD, you got paid. Dak, you got paid. And y'all show up like that? You let them score 44 points on your home. At Jerry's World? At Jerry's World. I know somebody who, that was their very first Cowboys game, and I said, ain't this a damn shame? This your very first Cowboys game. This is what you got to see. Ooh, if I'm a fan right now, I'm hot. I am hot, and I've been in Jerry's World 3 times, and I know the pandemonium. It's one of the best places to see a football game. It truly, if you're a football fan, you want to go to Jerry's World for the atmosphere, the ambiance, everything that it offers. But if you are a Cowboys fan, it was a sad day. Nobody could have saw that coming. Hey, the Saints won last week. Hey, it's a fluke. They were at home. They were good. But oh no, sorry, Bob. They like, we about to come into your house. Sit on your couch. Eat all your. Derek Carr did a touchdown dance. I don't know if I ever seen that man do a touchdown
He
dance.
did the Michael Jackson too.
Right.
He didn't just do a touchdown. He did the Michael Jackson in Jerry World. He kicked his leg up and hit the hee in Jerry World.
I'm so sorry.
He might be the GOAT. He might be the
that's
GOAT.
so bad, bro.
So sorry. That was bad. I watched the
white
replay
man
today. I was
busted a
like,
move on us.
maybe. I was like, they got. I mean, they're.
I just want to know. I just want to know what the heck the conversation was like going into the half, like being down 35, 35-9 or something like that. Like, what was the conversation like? I want to know, like, how did Dak address his team? How did he address his offense? Like, because I thought, I was like, all right, they're gonna go in this halftime and they're gonna Zimmer is really just going to go in there and rip everybody apart, and Mike McCarthy's going to set them straight, and they're going to come out of the second half, but it just like nothing, absolutely nothing. Just like it's like everybody gave up like after the first quarter of that game. Like they just were like, it is what it is. We'll try again next week, guys. Like no, like there's too much invested in this organization. These fans are too invested. Yeah, including me. Yeah, too invested for that kind of stuff to happen. And especially with the fashion of how we went out last season, like this, we can't keep taking this abuse. This is abuse. This is straight up domestic abuse by our team, our loving team that we care about too much. So I'm over it. Listen, I've never been a delusional Dallas Cowboys fan. You might think otherwise, but I've always said that I understand that this team has problems. I understand that it is a roller coaster ride. I do not head into seasons with high expectations. Like we're going to make a Super Bowl run. Like, no, like I set pretty low standards. I said, a couple seasons ago, I was like, I just want to get to the playoffs. Okay. Then we get to the playoffs, right? Then the next season, I'm like, I just want to get a playoff win. Okay. Then we make a playoff win. Like now I just want to see us make an appearance to an NFC championship game. That's all your girl wants. An NFC championship game. Let's just continue to build up. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, we're getting all the way top. No, let's continue to build up. But I just hope that they had practice 5 days this week. There was no days off. There was no, let's take Monday off. No, 5 days. We hitting bags. We doing stuff. Like learn how to tackle, my friends. Like just Alvin Kamara, like 4 touchdowns in one game. Like that is just, whoever had him on fantasy, I can't imagine. Like 150 yards. You won your league just with Kamara alone. Like absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, man.
So here's my thing. Here's what I think the problem is, Ruth.
Oh gosh.
I think that they need a new leader, and I don't mean like Dak Prescott.
Coming after the black man, what's going on?
No, not even that. I don't even think it's Dak Prescott or the coach. I think that they need a new leader as far as an ownership, because what happens is with Jerry Jones, he creates unrealistic expectations for that team every single year. Like people don't know, teams don't fear going into Jerry World because they're like, if we can get Dak down, like as far as just like they don't have the lead, we got him, because we've seen he doesn't have that cachet to be like, all right, we're we're down, we haven't played well, but I'm in the foxhole with y'all. I'm gonna lead us back. I don't even think the players even believe, like if he was to say that, I don't even think the players would believe that he would be able to. He just doesn't have that, and I think that plays a part in the fact that Jerry Jones is so upfront and out and open and answering questions and doing like he just does, like most GMs don't do what Jerry Jones does. And so it just creates this dynamic of like a power struggle almost, because it's like the coach can't really be the coach. He can only coach to a certain extent, but every decision is made through Jerry. That can only be a leader to a certain degree, because at the end of the day, it's still about Jerry. So it's like they just need new leadership. They need leadership that's going to fall back and allow the coach to be the coach, to get on them hard, to coach them hard, and to allow Dak to, if he does have that dog in him, pull it out of him. Because with all these excuses and how Jerry blankets everything, they're never going to go to that next level until they rip that Band-Aid off. And it's just like every single time they failed, here come Jerry with another excuse and another expectation. Like it's a repeating cycle. He needs to stop. Like he needs to take a step back, because he's only doing more harm than good.
But I've also seen Jerry call people out. Like I've also seen that. And I've seen him obviously contract holdouts and being like, should I pay this guy? Has he done enough for me to pay this guy? There has been that narrative as well. So I just think it comes down to just the discipline of the team is maybe not 100% there, that maybe they are coddled a little bit because they are considered America's team and they do have, 6 championships and all this. And like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like maybe the team is just a little bit too coddled, and I don't know if they just think that they could just walk into a place with no preparation and just kind of wing it. They're kind of like me in college. Like I don't really study that. I'm not a huge studier. Hey, and nobody's perfect, right? I'm not a huge studier. I'm not a huge preparer, and I just walk into classrooms and I wing it. And sometimes it works for me, and sometimes it doesn't. That's why I have a 3.3 GPA. So it's just like, honestly, like I guess the Dallas Cowboys are just like that hit and miss. But I don't know, like just. That is just like, I understand that Derek Carr is a veteran in the league, and I understand that Alvin Kamara has his accolades and he's great, but it's just like, why do we make certain teams and certain players look so amazing? Like they're so phenomenal, like they're so spotless. Like when people come into AT&T, they come in with this mindset like, oh, I'm about to make the Dallas Cowboys look like trash, like a JV team. And when they're able to accomplish that, it's just kind of like, well, I don't know, man. It's just so frustrating. Like, I'm just frustrated. I'm a frustrated Cowboys fan. And
that's what I'm saying when it comes to Jerry. Like, he creates that scenario to where teams come in and it's like, I want to shut him up. Yeah. Like, you're talking about Super Bowl team. This is the best team you've had since, listen, the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, I was saying goo goo gaga. Like, I was a baby. I was a child. I was an adolescent. I don't want to hear that no more. Like, and like I said, teams it's just like playing in Madison Square Garden for the opposing teams. Like they want to come in there, they want to make a statement, they want to make, you know what I'm saying, have their highlight, have their career best. That's what Jerry World is. And you can't blame anybody else but Jerry Jones.
It's so bad. But I mean, okay, so what do we do now? Like we shake off the rust. We, wipe the tears, because I'm sure there's got to be a lot of tears flowing. Like you lose 44-19 at home. Now it's the Ravens. Now we're hosting the Ravens, who's coming off who they lose to? The Chargers, I believe.
The Raiders.
They lost to the Raiders, by 3. So they're starting their season 0-2. They have an emotional loss against the Chiefs in the NFL opener on Thursday Night Football. And then they go and lose to the Raiders, I believe, at home. Yep. So they're coming off of 2 emotional losses, only losing by 3 to the Raiders. And now they're about to face a Cowboys team who just got embarrassed at home. So it's like, what team between the Baltimore Ravens and the Dallas Cowboys, who has more to prove? I'm going to throw this to you, Jay Nicole. Who has more to prove right now? The Baltimore Ravens, who are winless going into week 3, or the Dallas Cowboys, who just got shut down by 25 at home?
The Ravens. I'm sorry, Lamar Jackson. You were just the MVP last year, and you can't get a win. You can't get again against the Raiders with Gardner Minshew as your quarterback, and you were up in the 4th quarter. And you just fell apart at the end? Yeah. I mean, Cowboys, okay, you're 1-1, but at least you got to win. You came in, you got to win. Now, the Cowboys are at home, so you do expect them to win because previous to the Packers coming in there last year, they were 16-0. But, like, if they don't win this and they go 0-3 and you added a talent like Derek Henry and you go 0-3, they should have handed it to the Raiders all day, every day. Gardner Minshew, ain't nobody scared of him. He's a backstring, whatever. I mean, he was good with the Colts last year, so I guess they brought him in. But I thought that was even a weird mix-up. But yeah, it's because I feel like the Cowboys are gonna be okay. They're gonna get their wins, 12 wins, bounce back, whatever. But you start 0-3 as the Ravens, and you added Derrick Henry. Seriously, this is what we're doing? And Lamar, I lost like 10 pounds. I could be even faster and run even quicker. And again, you were the MVP last year, and this is what y'all doing. That's 0-3. So definitely the Ravens have more to prove. They have to win. I'm not worried about the Cowboys. They're up and down. We're kind of used to this. I think, like I said, I think they'll get their wins and be at least wild card for the playoffs round. But if the Ravens go 0-3. You kind of an embarrassment, my guy. How y'all get worse? Y'all supposed to be competing for a championship. Y'all supposed to be the it team. Is he number 2 quarterback after Patrick Mahomes? Ain't that what you're supposed to be? I mean, this is really like the Cowboys will do Cowboys things. Like this, that's not even going to be a real surprise. It's like, oh, you playing the Ravens. So of course, like, well, damn, it's the Ravens, right? But really, Ravens, you go lose to the Cowboys after the Raiders? Wow. Like, it's just looking not good for them. Nobody knew this was happening. So Ravens, you need to go in there and handle business. Cowboys 1-2. I mean, I'll have to look at who you play next, but I feel like y'all can bounce back and get back on track. But the Raiders need this win for sure. You do not want to start off 0-3.
Yeah. I'm a reverse. I agree with you, Jay, but I'm a reverse my opinion a little bit. Because like if you look at the Ravens, right, their first 2 games, like obviously they lose a heartbreaker in Kansas City, but they were right there. Now the Raiders, I think they were kind of riding a high a little bit, an emotional high from the Chiefs game, being like we almost beat the defending champs. So it's the Raiders. They're not that good of a team. We're at home. We're gonna come in here and just blow them out, and they're gonna lay down. And they didn't. And so when the Raiders kind of punched back, I don't think the Ravens were prepared for that. So now you got another opportunity going against the Cowboys. So I think they're going to be a lot more prepared. I think Lamar Jackson plays better, but the advantage that they have is that they can run the ball and the Cowboys can't stop the run. So it's like there's a solid advantage that they have going into this game against the Cowboys. I'm more concerned with the Cowboys, honestly, just because of the simple fact that they cannot stop the run. And there's a lot of great running teams in the NFL right now. So it's like if they can't solve that problem, it's going to be a long season for the Cowboys because that's going to be the formula. And I mean, with Lamar Jackson, we know what he can do and how dynamic he is, and especially Derrick Henry. Like he's still Derrick Henry. He's still just a massive, just monster to deal with. So I definitely give them an opportunity. So I would definitely say I'm more concerned with the Cowboys because it's like you go down because they're 1-1 right now. Then you go 1-2. You know what I mean? Like
they play the Giants in week 4, so I mean that should be an automatic win, right?
It better be.
It better be
2-2. So I mean, they could be 2-2. But yeah, if I'm just on concern level, it's definitely the Cowboys because I feel like they're gonna have a tough schedule this year. Just me personally, I think the Ravens are gonna eventually get it together. They're too talented of a team not to. But yeah, my concern definitely is more so with the Cowboys.
Yeah, Dallas has I wouldn't say it's like a super tough schedule, but I mean, it ain't easy. They could easily be just slightly above 500. They got the Ravens in week 3, the Giants in week 4, Pittsburgh Steelers in week 5 at Pittsburgh. Then they're playing Detroit. Detroit just lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I will say, which was pretty surprising at home, but it happened. They got a bye in week 7. Then they take on their best friends, the San Francisco 49ers, who are without Christian McCaffrey right now. They're expecting him to be back within 3 to 4 weeks. Then they got the Atlanta Falcons with Kirk Cousins. Then their Eagles, Houston, Washington afterwards, Giants again. Then they play the Bengals at AT&T Stadium. I'm looking forward to the Cincinnati Bengals game for sure. Then they have Carolina, Buccaneers, Philly, and they end the season once again with the Washington Commanders. So looking at that schedule, I feel like they could easily be slightly above 500. I don't think it's going to be a 12-win season as we've seen prior from the Dallas Cowboys, especially with that performance that we saw against the Saints this past weekend. But, I mean, I really think that they're probably going to be on the top of their division. I wouldn't 100% say that they're like so above the field. Speaking of the Eagles, speaking of the Eagles, let's get some tension off me for a second. Let's get some tension off the Cowboys. Let's. What I was telling Sensei before we started the show, Jay, was like what's made me feel slightly better, not much, but just a little bit, was seeing the Eagles collapse late in the fourth quarter against Kirk Cousins last night. I fell asleep late in the fourth quarter. I remember looking at the TV and be like, oh, Eagles are winning. Saquon doing his thing. Go ahead. Fall asleep for like a good couple minutes. Wake back up. Atlanta is up 13 seconds left on the clock. What happened? What in the world happened?
I was
during that game, from what I was watching from my vantage point, Kirk Cousins was having a field day. That defensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles did not look good. They were able to, the Atlanta Falcons were able to make the correct blocks to let that run game run free. I mean, we didn't really see a lot from Kyle Pitts. I don't know if Kyle Pitts, I just feel like he's not running his routes as swift and as, as elite as he has before, but it's still early in the season. Obviously, Kyle Pitts is going to eventually get going, but the run game looked great. Kirk Cousins, who wasn't playing at full health, looked pretty good, made really good throws, got his team involved, had plenty of time in the pocket, was able to do whatever he wanted, was cutting up that Philadelphia Eagles defense. And it was a way closer game than I expected to be. So that made me feel a little bit better after, such a demoralizing game on Sunday. Jay, Nicole, I want to throw that to you, though. Do the Philadelphia Eagles, are there any trouble with them and Saquon? Because everybody's pointing a finger at Saquon from dropping that pass late in the fourth quarter to put that game away.
Yep.
Or is there trouble in paradise?
Oh, for sure. I mean, he balled out the first game. He definitely did. But should it have really been that close against the Packers, though? I mean, and you saw the defense give up points there, right? But you balled out against the Packers, so we're like, okay, cool, we got Saquon. But, like, bro, you got to come through in the clutch. Your name is Saquon Barkley. You better catch that ball. Mm-hmm. Like, you really lost to the Falcons with Kirk Cousins at 36 years old coming off an ACL injury, right? Like, seriously? Like, I had to rewatch that too. I was like, this just fell apart real quick. And whether or not, Jalen Hurts, you still need to prove yourself. Was your good year that you went to the Super Bowl, was that just a fluke? Because the year before that, you looked like who shot you. And now the year after that, y'all fell apart and lost what? Was that 8 games in a row, 7 games in a row? And looked like who shot you again. So right now, you need to come and prove that you really are that guy. And when they paid you the money and made you the guy and made you the highest paid quarterback at that time, you really him. Are you really him, or are you a fraud? Ooh. But this is not on him. This Saquon, the game was close and it shouldn't have really been that close, but their defense is 7. But Saquon, your name is Saquon Barkley. I need you to catch that ball. You do not give the Atlanta Falcons any breath, life, whatever. I mean, like you said, Kirk was doing everything. He was passing it off. Bijan Robinson was running through him. It was just, I was like, damn, he put on a clinic. He looking like Cole. He looking like a young 25-year-old. Like, they just out here balling. And I'm like, wow, Eagles. Yeah, I really don't know. I'm not like, it's not like looking at this, you're like, oh, it's definitely don't nobody. We always think, okay, it's going to be between the Cowboys and the Eagles, right? Who's going to run away with it or edge it out or be whatever. But Eagles, y'all not looking that great. Y'all really not. You balled out in the first game again, though, but your defense gave up a lot of points, and it was just really a tit for tat. And it kind of went back and forth, and y'all just win and got it. But right now, this was the same thing, and y'all did not go and get it. And Saquon, Jalen Hurts in the press conference, hey, I believe in Saquon. He's a talent. And he is. You know what I mean? We all have bad games. We all mess up. Like, nobody's perfect, right? But, like, you needed to come through, because losing to the Atlanta Falcons, that should not have been a loss. That should have been a win all day, every day. Take it to the bank. We got this. Game over. Cool. We 2-0. But now y'all sitting at 1-1.
Yeah, that it was definitely not a good showing. I know I was at work when the game first started, and I was like, "Oh, this is a wash. We're playing the Falcons. We good." And for the most part, while I was at work, we were leading, so I'm like, "Okay, cool." I'm on the way home. Like, I literally stopped in front of my door and was like, "There's no way what just happened like that." It shouldn't have been that close in the first place. Like you said, Jay Nicole, like you hit all the points. I think 9 times out of 10, if you give Saquon that pass one more time, I think he makes that catch. It's just one of those things. He dropped the pass. Like, I mean, it's gonna happen. Like, everybody has dropped the pass at some point. But I think he plays better. My only real concern with the Eagles right now is just their defense. Like you said, Jay Nicole, like, they can't stop anybody. Like, there was no way the Packers should have been able to run all over them. And Jordan Love, before he got hurt, obviously was able to throw all over them. And same thing with Kirk Cousins. Like, I mean, even though when we started leading, I was nervous, because I'm like, he getting all these first downs. Like, it's too easy for them. And it's like at home too. Like, y'all had Jason Kelce out here losing his mind for nothing. Like, y'all just for y'all to lose. Like, insane. But yeah, I mean, I hope that they can clean it up on the defensive end. If they can do that, I feel like they still have a potential to be a great team. I know they're missing AJ Brown right now, which is not helpful for their offense. But I need for Devontae Smith. He's going to have to step up. Obviously, like I said, we expect Saquon to be Saquon, so he's got to be a little bit more consistent in that aspect. I mean, there was a couple of drives that they had where they ran the ball really well, but didn't score. Like, you got to come away with points. If you're going to run the ball like that, it needs to result in points. And they weren't able to do that, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to worry about my Eagles just yet. It's early. We're 1-1. I believe we'll smack the you-know-what out of the Cowboys, but we'll have to wait until that day. Ruth the Truth, if you want to place a little wager, I'm ready. But
listen, I am not in any way, shape, or form feeling comfortable enough to place any wagers. I already had somebody at work convince me, because they're a huge Bucs fan, and the Dallas Cowboys play the Bucs in December, and he's like, little $100 wager, and I'm like, bro, give me that. Like, and I dapped that up, and as soon as I did that, I'm like, the Cowboys are going to make me regret that. I already know I'm about to lose money. Like, and they're like, oh no. He was like, oh no, you guys probably got it. You guys play at home. And I'm thinking, like, that don't matter.
Yeah,
what you mean?
Don't matter no more.
We could be playing on a neutral zone right now. Like, that wouldn't really matter. So
that's a neutral ground.
I think I'm gonna stay quiet when it comes to my sports bets, because they never usually work out for me. So I'm gonna keep quiet on that. But who knows? Maybe they have a resurgence, and things become phenomenal and they start blowing teams out. But that's wishful thinking. Great show so far, ladies. But I do want to talk about Tua Tagovailoa. Unfortunately, very, very unfortunate. He had another concussion against the Buffalo Bills in last week's game, or early for starting the week 2 of the NFL. I think it was a Thursday night game. So there's been a lot of question marks whether or not Tua should be looking into retiring, because I believe this is going to be his 3rd concussion in the last year and some change. And I just want to kind of pitch it off to you ladies. Like, do you really think it's feasible for Tua to hang up the cleats and walk away from the game so early in his career? Because, I mean, concussions are pretty serious brain injuries. I had a conversation with my boyfriend about it, who unfortunately had 2 concussions a couple years ago when he slipped off when he was still living in Nashville, and he slipped on some ice and knocked his head on the ground. And he's like, I couldn't look at The light was bothering me. I wasn't feeling myself. My head hurt. I had migraines, headaches. For over 6 months, they were affecting him. So I can't imagine for Tua to continue to have these traumatic brain injuries time and time again. I mean, it's been a lot. I mean, I think four different times he's been had to leave the game due to concussion. So just want to get y'all quick thoughts as we wrap up the show. So thankful for everybody who's tuned in so far. Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins. How is this looking? Because McDaniels, the head coach, has said that obviously, like, that's not his area of him speaking on whether or not Tua should be considering retirement. So, what do you ladies think about this? This is pretty serious.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate, honestly, and I hate to be like somebody should retire, especially somebody so young. But at the same time, we've seen and heard too many stories about NFL players, especially after they're done, after taking hard hits, especially to the head, what that does to their mental. Like, there's been players that have committed suicide. There's unfortunate, if that's a trigger, I'm sorry. But like, that has happened. There's players who have, just talked about the mental struggles that they've gone through after playing the game, after taking so many hard hits. And he's still a relatively young man. So if you're able to walk away and, walk away with a nice size bag and still be upright and have your health, I think it's worth considering, honestly, like seriously considering, because like you said, he's had at least 3 concussions in the past year and a half or so. And that's not good. Like, that's not something that you should, it just doesn't feel like it's worth it. Like, it's not worth the risk, in my personal opinion. Like, I understand, like, he probably super loves the game, and this is a game he's been playing for a good portion of a majority of his life. But at the end of the day, it's about your health, and your health comes first. And, I don't want to see, like, I get nervous every time he gets tackled. It's to that point, because he just seems so fragile. And it's not his fault. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not blaming him, but it's just one of those things where, like, it just happens like that. And like I said, I don't want to see that man get permanently paralyzed, or, like I said, just suffer with mental issues after he's done. Like, if you could walk away now, bro, like, I really think he should consider it for sure. I'm sorry, but it's just not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's so sad to see, and to see it happen, and see the hit, his hands instantly like seize up, and you're like, okay, man, again, like another one. And it's like, I know he was doing some type of like martial arts to like work on the way he falls when he gets hit, so be better. And so I know they've been talking about like, okay, well, if he's medically cleared, then he won't get his full guaranteed money. But if he's not medically cleared, then he could still get his, you know what I mean? And so it's a thing. And I'm like, right, I believe he's 26 years old. You're a baby. You have your whole life ahead of you, essentially. Football is just a portion of your life. This isn't even anything. Stay on, maybe be a quarterback's coach or assistant, or, stay close to the game, right? But your life is so much more valuable. Your wife needs you. Your 2 young children need you. You know what I mean? This CTE is very real. All the effects and everything that it has caused. You know what I mean? You're too young. Your life is too precious. God has more for you. This is not it. I wish him the best. I pray for him, his family, you know what I mean, to get through this, because it's hard. It's hard. I can't even imagine. But your life is way beyond this. This is just a game that you play, and a game that you've been blessed to play for the time that you've had, right? He'll have his moments, Alabama, NFL, you know what I mean? Like I said, stay close to the game, stay on, play, be a coach, assistant, something, right? But it's time. It is time. You know what I mean? Don't gamble with your life, man. It's a game. It's just a game.
Yeah, gambling with your future. So the Miami Dolphins have placed star quarterback Tua Tagovailoa on the injured reserve following his latest concussion, and it's been sourced and reported that the quarterback is making his decision based off of the neurologist that he's been working with for the past 2 years. His earliest return, if happening, his earliest return would be at the end of October on the 27th when they take on the Arizona Cardinals at home. But the 26-year-old has a long history of concussions, as we discussed, starting in his very beginning of his career, NFL career in the 22 season. And it's hard to watch such a great talent have to deal with this kind of thing. But moving forward, the Miami Dolphins have signed Tyler Huntley off of the practice squad from the Baltimore Ravens, and third-year quarterback Skylar Thompson replaced Tua Tagovailoa against when they were still playing the Buffalo Bills, and he is expected to start. Skylar Thompson is expected to start against the Seattle Seahawks this coming Sunday. So we will see. This is just more of a story that we got to keep our eye on in the next coming weeks. We could possibly see Tua come back at the end of October, but I think he's definitely going to be taking some time to himself and time with his family, because like you said, Jay Nicole, like he's got young kids. He's the starting quarterback of his family, and they are definitely depending on him. So that's definitely going to be something that people are going to be keeping their eye on, because Miami Dolphins, they have a really great squad, and if they could find that piece, if Tua decides to take a step back, they just need to find that fitting piece. And a lot of buzzing rumors about Tom Brady coming out of retirement again to go play in Miami.
Hey, chill out, bro. Relax. No, listen, you've been swimming with models and rocking suits and on boats having a great time. Do that, my dog. Like, it's enough. Enough is enough. You've done.
Yeah, and he's been
out of reach. Like 7 rings. You didn't want everything you could possibly. Bro, it's over with.
He's been doing a pretty decent job as a sports analyst, doing play-by-plays. He's done the last 2 Cowboys games, so I've definitely been listening in. He's been pretty good at it, so I'm pretty sure that TB is comfortable. But moving forward, as we wrap up the show tonight, thanks again for everybody that's been tuning in. Ladies, do you have any games that you are excited about leading into week 3 of the NFL? Is there any teams that you guys are excited about? Are the Chicago Bears going to have a pretty easy win with the Indianapolis Colts?
That's rude, because why would you do that? I'm a Colts fan. Like, Roof, you just okay. Like, I know I went in on your Cowboys, but come on, you didn't have to do that.
Show.
You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that.
What do you think about Caleb Williams right now? Jay Nicole, you are the Chicago Bears fan.
Yeah,
you've been excited about this rookie.
Home team. Yeah, I mean, he looked better than he did in game 1, and the Bears defense is elite, and that's what kept them in the game Sunday night against the Texans, even though I picked the Texans to win. Caleb, I need to see he's ready for the moment. He gave us glimmers, like I said, Patrick-esque in the preseason, right? And they won all their preseason games. I'm like, okay, like, well, we gonna see the regular season, but you don't look the same, my guy. You don't look the same. You realize people are bigger and faster. The offensive line's horrible, though. They can't hold water. They really can't. And so he is rushed, but he does have to get the ball. What we did see in this game is he was getting the ball out before 2.5 seconds, where in the first game he was just holding on to the ball way too long, scrambling, trying to make the plays. I think he led the offense down. They scored a touchdown. He didn't throw a touchdown, though, and so we're waiting for that. You told the punter, oh, you won't have to be punting this much this year, bro. He didn't punt it I don't know how many times. Like, come on. So I just need him to settle down, get the jitters out. They definitely need to get on their offensive line, let them know, hey, there's somebody waiting to take your spot in the practice squad, because they looking lost and confused and they don't know what. You got to give the man time to throw. Yes, he can scramble. Yes, he can run, but he wants to stand in the pocket and throw the ball. He said, I don't want to do all the craziness. I want to be able to do that. So the offensive line definitely has to get stronger. He's got to get the ball out. But I feel like we can only go up from here, right? He improved from the first game to the second game. He had more yards. But, bro, like, we need to see you be the number 1 draft pick, especially against teams that, I mean, the defense bailed you out game one, you know, defense kept you in it game two. Like they had the ball and could actually have went on down and scored, and they just didn't get it done. So, I mean, they had a chance to beat the Texans actually. So, interesting to see. The Indianapolis Colts, though, you know, don't sleep on them. Game one, right, was a shootout. And who did they just play right now? I didn't see who they played right now, but in game two. But I mean, they looking nice.
They played the Packers in week 2.
Okay, and the Packers won. That was a shock, right? With no Jordan Love. Like, okay.
All right. Okay.
But they did look good in the game, in the first game of the season. I can't remember who they played, but I watched it.
I believe they played Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken.
Jacksonville, okay, and they beat Jacksonville. So I mean, it was they did look good. So
you said in week 1.
In week 1, is that who they played?
No, week 1 they lost to the Texans.
Oh, duh.
Okay. Yeah.
Look, and I'm like, they looked good against the Texans. It was like kind of like a shootout. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, it's up in the air. It could, you know, Bears could get the win. Hopefully, like I said, Caleb just keeps improving and showing us that we want this to be. The Chicago Bears are the only team who has not had a quarterback throw for 40 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. The only team in the NFL. So
yeah,
Caleb was supposed to make that happen, bro. But we ain't doing it with these 90-something yard first game and 100 and 50, 70 yards a second. Like, we need you to come on, ramp it up. But again, he's just getting started. He's a rookie. He's going to learn. There's a learning curve. I feel like he can only go up from here. So good luck to you, Chicago Bears. The fiance is a huge Bears fan. Wearing his Bears jersey. Hey, I'll cheer for your team. You cheer for my team. You already know what game I'm looking forward to Sunday night. Chiefs, Falcons. Let's go ahead and just, put them away. Patrick just played the worst game of maybe the second worst game of his career against the Bengals. So, I mean, he's only going to have a better game. Travis Kelce, I need you to step the hell up, though, because 2 games, 39 yards, that ain't enough, man. Get to work, my guy. Get to work. Checo is out. I'm hurting about that because he is a fierce runner. His fibula, I think he hurt. Yeah, so he's going to be out for a while.
Like 6 weeks, right?
Yeah, and then Hollywood Brown, they're saying he might not even come back. They thought his injury was going to heal. It wasn't healing. He might have to have a different surgery. So, I mean, we're down, but we're definitely not out. Let me just say that was pass interference, Bengals fans. Let's be what it is. Let's call it what it is. Oh, the refs always bailing the Chiefs out. Come on, my guy. Yeah. But think about it. If he didn't touch him, he had that ball. He was up there, waiting to get it. Yeah. And the play right before that on 4th down, I think it was like 4th down and 8, we caught that. And then our offensive line was holding. So then that got taken.
76.
It was really, we ain't fearing in the 4th down. We're going to go get it. And, Buckner do his thing, 51 yards, just another day in the office for him. So, we 2-0. We'll take it by a toe. We'll take it by a 51-yard field goal, whatever. A win is a win is a win is a win, baby.
Win is a win is a win.
A win. That's a win. Sure. Yeah, definitely. Before we get up out of here, just to wrap it up, definitely, because I watched that game, that Chiefs Bengals game, that definitely was a pass interference. I'm so sorry. Like, I know Bengals fans want to, they probably got a portrait of Patrick Mahomes somewhere, stabbing him with the little pitchforks or something. I get it, because that man been built to for a while for y'all. But it definitely was a pass interference. I'm sorry, it is what it is. And like you said, there was a couple plays prior to that. If 76 doesn't hold, Kansas City was going to score either way it went. So, I mean, it was just their game to win. It happens like that. I think with Caleb Williams, I think that because he's had really great flashes of like potential to be a really good quarterback. I think that, like you said, Jay, his offensive line has failed him a lot of times because he got hit a lot in that Texas game. Like they failed him real bad. It almost reminds me of watching Shador at Colorado. Like they were just letting them dogs eat, unfortunately. And so I think if you get him a couple of pieces where he has a solid offensive line, I think he could be really good because he's very mobile with his legs. Obviously, he made some really great reads. Obviously, he's going to have some mishaps. He's a rookie. It happens. But I think if they give him that couple more pieces, maybe get him a solid running game, I think he'll fare pretty well. But other than that, I think you said the game that you're looking forward to. Yeah, I would probably say, do Dallas and the Ravens play next Sunday? Is that when they play?
Yes, week 3 matchup in Dallas, AT&T Stadium. Ravens are coming to Dallas.
I'm looking forward to that, and not even to be petty, but I'm looking to see how Dak bounces back. And, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, if he has that dog in him. And I'm also looking to see how Lamar responds, you know, being that they are in an 0-2 hole and going to Jerry World with all the expectations that he has. So I think that's going to be a really good game.
Yeah. The game I'm looking forward to, probably top tier, would be 49ers LA Rams, who are 0-2. The Rams are 0-2, guys. Matthew Stafford did not play well, did not look like himself against the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray threw 3 touchdowns last week. That was pretty freaking phenomenal. So the Arizona Cardinals are going to be taking on the Detroit Lions in Arizona for the 4:00 game this coming Sunday. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the 49ers and Rams game. 49ers they're a great team. Even without Christian McCaffrey, they're still great on offense and defense. So I'm looking forward to seeing that game, just to see how the Rams are going to bounce back, because they do not want to start their season 0-3. Another good game that I am looking forward to see is obviously the Baltimore Ravens, but the Broncos and Buccaneers. Broncos are going to be hosting Denver. I'm excited the way that the Bucs have been playing these last 2 weeks. Chris Godwin and Baker Mayfield were on a tear in Detroit. There was also a missed offensive pass or defensive pass interference call that was not called early in that Detroit game, that there's a lot of Lions fans that are still like up in arms saying that the refs did not play their part. So I'm excited to see what week 3 can unfold for the NFL. But yeah, that's all for me. I'm excited for the NFL season just starting to ramp up. We're starting to see teams for, you know, just it's a little too early to be kind of counting people out and being like, this isn't a playoff team, because, you know, a lot of things can change. It's a long season. We got a couple months. Super Bowl's not till February. So I'm excited to see what's going to unfold in the NFL.
Same, also, and as well, it's going to be a great NFL season. You know, we all love football time over here, as well as basketball season is on the horizon. Next month, NBA basketball will be locked and loaded. We're gearing up for King season, of course, so I'm getting excited all over again as we get prepared for another season. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. Ladies, is there anything that people should know? If you want to shout out your social media so they can follow you or follow us for that sake, let it rip.
Yeah, please, if you are watching this show or you just love the content and love sports talk, please make sure to give a like to this channel on Facebook, and also follow all of our individual Instagrams, where we'll be posting parts and pieces of the show, because I know an hour and 17 minutes is a lot to watch, but we'll be posting more throughout the week. And just give us our page and our Facebook page a like and a share if you possibly can. Follow me on Instagram if you would like. It's Root the Truth 1 at the end. And yeah, that's all for me.
J. Nicole.
Yeah, follow me, TikTok, X, what else is there? Instagram, Facebook, all the things at Janaea Nicole. But yeah, we're excited. Great show, ladies. Looking forward to next week 3, ready to get into it. So glad that the football season is here. So glad we're gearing up for the WNBA playoffs as well, and then the NBA season is on the way. A lot of great sports content to discuss, and I look forward to seeing y'all next week.
Yes, indeed. And same for me. Definitely excited for the WNBA season as well. The playoffs are coming up. Real quick, because I just saw it on a flash across my phone. Rakia Jackson and Brittany Griner got into a little scuffle. Check that out. And yeah, definitely ready for the playoffs to start, ready for the NBA season to start, and to continue the NFL season as well. We'll be back again with another great episode next Tuesday. So make sure y'all tune in. Like Root the Truth says, share, like, subscribe, all of those things. My Instagram is Sensei_33, as well as Facebook. So make sure you follow me there, because I will be posting some new content soon. And yeah, man, we out this thing. Great show, ladies. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Love y'all. Bye. Good night.
Bye.